Good evening. Motivating the motivator. It's Tuesday evening. How is everybody doing? A little sweaty. I hope everybody is doing really well today. You know what? I'm going to actually shift myself a little bit and give us some more light. Whoa! Hey, I'm back. So I'm going to give you all a little bit more light so I'm lit enough. Because I'm already lit, but gotta be a little bit more lit for you all. So, how's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Today's gonna be, you know what, let's be real. It's always very special because I love having every single woman on that I've had on here so far. But today's gonna be a little extra special because I want to make sure I open it up to any questions anybody may have. We have Chesney Blue coming on tonight. She is a registered dietitian. Excuse me. So I have some questions already that I already put together just to get the ball rolling. But once you all are on, and if you feel like asking questions, please definitely ask some questions, because there's always something. We want the real deal when it comes to nutrition. Too many times we have all these, either fad diets, or we Google something and we don't even know the source. We don't even know the person that put it together. So it's nice to have somebody who has a clear education about what it means to have a balanced diet, and understanding that food can help. She's coming in. That food can help to cure. It can help to heal. I should say heal. Heal's better. So we're going to talk about those different things tonight. So I'm just really excited. And I think I clicked it. Ah, here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes, y'all. Hey, Chaz.
Hello.
Hi, hon.
How are you? I'm good. Can you hear me
Oh, I
okay?
can hear you well. Wait, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear
Yes,
me
yes,
now?
yes.
How's it going, hon?
It's good. It's good. I'm still in the office, so doing
See,
some like,
y'all, she's
yeah.
dedicated. We were just kind of mentioning that yesterday. It was like, yo, I've been busy. She's been busy, which is
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that too. I was telling everybody that we're going to be dealing with some, obviously, with some nutrition questions. But as with everybody who comes on here, I want everybody to know who you are, though.
Okay.
So we
No
all know
problem.
who you are, all that good stuff. So everyone, welcome to the stage. Chesney Blue, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Just, winding down for today.
Good for you. And you're still in the office, and your office is in.
We are in Montclair, New Jersey. We're right on the corner of a nice, cute house on Upper Mountain Avenue and Bloomfield Avenue. So we're that first house on that
Oh,
corner.
I
Right
do.
across from Montclair, Kimberly, if anyone's familiar with that.
Okay. So I'm
Hmm.
putting all this out there, y'all, because even though we'll answer, we she'll answer questions. Um, this is her business. This is what she does. We're going to discuss her services and all those different things because she works one-on-one. She works with groups, so we'll get a chance
Hmm.
to really get to know
Yeah,
Chesney. Yes.
yeah.
So let's first talk a little bit about it's Blue Chip Nutrition, because I know there's Blue Chip Nutrition. I know you have Blue Wellness Center as well.
Hmm. So
So let's talk about what you're.
I have my page, which mostly promote like nutrition information, community health and nutrition events going on too as well. And then we are a company business. So it's myself and my business partner, who's also my sister, who's a mental health therapist.
Nice.
And her specialties are in relationship and sex therapy, as well as depression, anxiety, things like that too. So we both have our own separate pages, and then we have a business page, Blue Wellness Center, New Jersey. And center is spelled CTRNJ. So that's our social media handles. My sister's social media handle is NJ underscore sex therapist, and you can find her on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that too.
Look at
So
me. I'm like, what is it again? No, I'm just kidding. But
you
I am
put
going to make
NJ
sure
sex
that
therapist and they'll come right up.
I know. I'm definitely going to make sure that I put that in because once we put this up on IG Live, I want to make sure that everybody gets all your information so they can just go right to you. And
Okay, yeah, no problem.
yeah, because honey, we got to make sure that we also support and that we go
Mm-hmm.
to folks who know what they're doing so that we get the proper
Mm-hmm.
information. And speaking of proper information, how'd you get your proper information? So let's talk about your background first.
So, well, first I want to thank you, Latifah, for bringing me and inviting me onto your IG Live. It's so
You're welcome,
interesting how
sis.
I was actually following you for a while because I was looking for a Pilates instructor, Black Pilates instructor within the North Jersey area. So I've been following for a while, even though I haven't been able to make your classes because I'm super busy these days. But one day when I get a day off, I'm going to try to make one of your classes.
Or just
So,
kind of carve the time in. Just
true, right?
just tossing that to you.
Right. But yeah, so my background is I received a bachelor's degree in nutritional sciences with a minor in chemistry from Howard University in Washington, D.C.
HU.
Yep, you know,
My
and I
little
know
sister.
you heard a lot of news today about HU.
I
So
know.
yeah,
And you see Kamala Harris is the new so you got
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh.
University, I had my bachelor's degree, and I did to be a registered dietitian nutritionist, you have to do a 1,200-hour clinical supervised internship in different aspects of nutrition. So I did that at Rutgers University, which was formerly UMDNJ. So I did that program here in New Jersey, and then I also have a master's degree in public health, where I've always been interested in community public health and program planning and development. So that's why I went and did my master's in public health instead of nutrition. So that's my background. I always wanted to. The reason why I went into nutrition was I just saw as a younger girl before I went to college that there was just a need. You never saw a lot of Black dietitians in the neighborhood. There were always white women telling Black people how to eat, and that's not their cultural ways. And also, I remember I was probably like between the ages of 7 and 9. I went to the doctor with my grandfather, and I asked my grandfather's doctor, what's one thing my grandfather can do so that he could stop coming to the doctor's office so much, because he went to the doctor a lot. And his doctor just stopped and stared and told me, he's like, he needs to go see a dietitian. He
Wow.
needs to, work on changing his eating habits. And he didn't have the best eating habits. He's migrated from South Carolina, ate a lot of different things that wasn't always as healthy in excess. So, it's definitely something that brought my attention to the field of nutrition and dietetics.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. And it sounds like that's the first thing that led you towards, okay, who
Mm-hmm.
can do something for us? It can do a lot of terrible things to us, but it can do a lot of amazing things for us. And you got it from
Exactly.
there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I'm not perfect, honestly. I know I like to eat certain things too, but I always think people are a work in progress. And I'm here. I try to help clients just learn how to choose foods that will really nourish their bodies and souls. I always say all foods can fit in your diet. It's just about like the amount, the quantity, how it's prepared. Sometimes you may want to adjust if you have your own health goals in mind, which is what most people come to me do have goals in mind when they come to me. So, always try to make most foods fit into everyone's diet.
Oh, that's because
Mm-hmm.
everyone is such an individual anyway. It only makes sense. You can't just make
Mm-hmm.
everybody eat the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when did you start your business though? So we know how you got to want to do this, but when did you start your business? And I see you were oh my God, I don't want to get it wrong. Were you the president of?
The New Jersey Dietetic Association is the
Yes.
largest association in New Jersey for nutrition professionals. So we probably have about probably between 21 to 25,000 members right now. So I was president of the board for that association back in 2015, 2016. But yeah, but my business started back in 2016. I was working in a nursing home, as a nutrition manager, and it really wasn't what I wanted to do. I liked working with the geriatric population though, but it really wasn't what I was that interested in. And I was just like, I'm tired of all this. And yeah,
How it
so
always
I
starts.
exactly. I was like, I'm tired of all this. So I actually resigned from the position. I was there for 2 years, resigned from the position, and I worked as a consultant. And everyone thought I was crazy because it's like, oh, you got a good job. Why would you leave? You know, I was like, it just wasn't speaking to me.
Right, right.
For a year, I worked as a consultant and had a couple of jobs in consulting projects that I worked on. And during that time was when I formulated the business with my sister. And that's when we opened it. So by like 2016, April 2016, that's when we started. That's when we got our business certificate anyway, April 16th from New Jersey. So yeah, so that's when we started. And we all also got our place in Montclair around in April too. So
Oh, of
yeah.
2016, everything happened right then.
Yeah.
Nice.
So everything, plus I had the time because I wasn't working a 9 to 5 anymore, even though I'm doing 9 to 5 now. But at that time, I wasn't working 9 to 5, so I really had the time to really cultivate the business plan and things like that. So we were able to set it up then.
Nice. I love that.
4 years now we've been in business.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Did your sister
Yeah.
also go to Howard or no?
No, she went to another great HBCU, Spelman College. So
I went to Clark in Atlanta.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that, Latifah. Oh,
And
my God.
one of my best friends went to Spelman. I met her when I was down there. So
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know we had that HBCU connection.
oh, my whole
Yeah.
family. Wait, let's go through it. My baby sister, Howard. My mom, Hampton.
Okay.
My grandparents, Hampton. My other grandparents, Virginia Union. Cousins, Howard, Morgan State, Fayetteville. Yeah, my family's deep.
Nice. Yeah, that is deep. Wow.
We
That's
Morehouse. Wait. Yeah, Clark. So yeah, we Morris Brown. Is there Morris Brown? I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we deep. But go ahead. She went to Spelman.
Yeah, she went to Spelman for her undergrad, and she received her. She has 2 master's degrees, one in social work from Rutgers, and another one in human sexuality, a master's degree from Widener University, and I think that's Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Nice.
so that's her background in the field.
And then you all started the business. You're off and running. I always like to ask people about the journey. Like, I got those basics. Was it easy? Did you find it hard? Was it better because you started it with your sister? Because I'm always fascinated by everybody's journey. Everybody has such a different journey. I've on this already. I've had entrepreneurs. I have people who are part-time entrepreneurs. I have corporate folks, but everybody has a journey and just a way it seemed to flow or not flow. So how do you think it was? Was it easier because you were with your sister, or or you just like, I don't want you to be my sister anymore? So like, how did that?
Yeah, I think we've had those moments, to be honest, but not all the time. And that's just what sisters do. We do that when it wasn't a business issue. But we had our moments. I wouldn't say it was hard and difficult though, but it was slow. It was slow in the beginning. We probably didn't get our first clients. We started in April. We didn't get our first clients till June. And then and that was more nutrition clients. And then I want to say my sister started getting clients maybe like 4 to 6 months after we even started. And then her side has grown because she's been full-time with the practice for about, I know, over a year now. It could be possibly 2 years. So she now has a very thriving part with the mental health part. I'm still part-time because I'm working 9 to 5 too with the government. So so I'm part-time, but things have, like I mentioned before, things have picked up, especially since March 30, like the end of March 30 or so like that, unfortunately, because of the racial injustices and things like that. So, more people are looking for a clinician that looks like them now to support the community. So, and I'm grateful for that. That was one of the reasons why I went into nutrition and dietetics, was because of that, so that people can relate to their clinicians. Studies show that there are better health outcomes when you're health care practitioner looks like you, has similar cultural values and things like that. So, I'm grateful for it for the most part.
I think that's congratulations to both of you, honestly.
Yeah.
Very good. Extremely
Yeah.
good. And you're in Montclair. It's one of my happiest places on earth.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah, it's a nice town. Great area that we're in. So we have no complaints right now.
excellent. Excellent. Do you find it hard to balance the two since you still have the 9 to 5 and you're doing your business? Because like I said, I have part-time entrepreneurs, and so how do you
Mhm.
feel? How do you balance
It is a
yourself?
struggle to balance because my day job is very demanding.
Mm,
So, but I just do a second shift when I get home, where like I'm working from 9 to sometimes even 12 midnight, working on business things, just trying to get more to mostly focus on marketing and how to get more clients and things like
yeah.
that. Or if it's something my sister may need help with and she's busy with her clientele. So I'll try to help as much as possible. Like right now, we're applying to a bunch of different grants
Oh yeah.
because and stuff like that too. So we're tag teaming. We probably applied to like maybe 4 or 5 grants that we were possibly eligible for. And so, she took some and applied to, I took some and applied to as well. So we're, splitting up. We try to split up the workload as much as possible,
Oh,
even though I
that's
know she
good.
kind of does most of the work, administrative work, but yeah.
Still, I'm really, it's very, I have 2 sisters and a brother. Oh my God. Yeah, 2 sisters and oh my gosh, I almost how many siblings. But it's so funny. I'm like, would I ever go into business with them? I love them,
Hmm.
like ridiculously.
Hmm.
So I think it's bold, brave, and honestly very sweet that you two are working together. I
Yeah,
love it.
everyone's always questioning that, and sometimes we're even like, I don't know why I went into business with you. Trust me, it's not all roses every day. But we know that like we complement each other. We're
Yeah,
sisters. We're always going to be sisters, and we
yeah,
just make it work for the most part. So yeah, we're
very
good.
true. I love that. So it is balancing the two, very hard, but what is your
Mhm.
main motivation? So when those days when you're like, yo, you got the job. You don't want to get up in the morning for the job. And then you're like, oh, the job is over. I got to go to the business.
Mhm.
But you keep going. So what
Mhm.
motivates you? What inspires you to just, you're like, I don't want to do this today, but there's something inside that says, you got to do this today.
I
So
mean,
what is,
I just always grew up with a strong sense of accountability and responsibility due to
mm,
like how our parents raised us.
yeah.
But people really don't understand. I genuinely want to help people. And like something like nutrition education isn't always taught in the schools, isn't always taught in our homes and
Mm,
things like that. So I genuinely want to help people with their health and wellness goals. So that's why that's my motivation. Like with my day job, I work in a public health nutrition program, WIC basically, and my motivation to go into work every day is to help mothers in need that need additional food and supplementation for their children. And for the business, it's just I know a lot of people are struggling with different chronic
yeah.
conditions, so they really need someone to provide that service. And in this area, there aren't many Black dietitians that in this area that are in private practice, if they are in the area, but are in private practice to do the counseling. And I know there's a need, no matter how much I get paid. Like I know there's a need for this, and people really need it because, like I see all the time, people African Americans, they go to the doctor. The doctor says you need this lifestyle change. Go see a dietitian, and then they can't find anyone, or they probably went to one, but they were really disrespectful to their cultural food habits and needs, so they don't feel comfortable going back to that person anymore, or they don't even feel being comfortable going back to their doctor because then they know their doctor is going to shun them and shame them for
Right.
not improving their diet. So that's what motivates me, providing that service. I'm very passionate about the community. That's why we wanted to stay in the Essex County area. We grew up in East Orange. So, we want to stay in the Essex County area to provide a service that's not there right now.
I
So,
love
yeah.
it. Fill in the void. Fill in the void. Make sure that we get what we need. And I love the fact that you say health and wellness goals. Not weight goals, not this, but it's health and wellness. That's that when I looked you up and I read all your stuff, I was like, yeah, sis, that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't focus on the aesthetic. I'm a broken record when it comes to that. I'm like, what do you have? What are you doing for yourself that's going to sustain you? What are you doing for yourself that's going to promote the optimal health for you? And making sure you have a really good lifestyle. Like, I know I want to be 100 years old, but if I'm 100 years old and in the bed tied to tubes, that's not cool. I want to be able to be 100 and I can go for a walk. Because I'm feeding my soul. You said something about soul earlier. I like that. We got to make sure we do those things. And I appreciate you for doing that. Truly.
Yeah. Yeah, your weight is just one number of of a part of you, and it's not really what defines you. And we look at other health and wellness markers too, like are you happy? Are you comfortable? Are your knees hurting anymore because you dropped a few pounds? Things like that you want to look at. And yeah, as a dietitian, I don't just focus on just what that scale says, because it's a variety of different factors in regards to your health and wellness goals. And I say health and wellness goals because I know a lot of people that come to me, they're not just coming to me for weight loss. They're coming for a variety of different things. They want to control blood sugars. They want to control their blood pressure. Or maybe even I even get people with kidney failure in the practice too. So they want to help with, living a longer life with whatever kidney failure stage that they're at. I get that help. I get those types of clients too. So that's why I always say health and wellness goals and look at the whole picture. On my Instagram page, I put that, I look at, everything holistically, because you want to look at the whole picture of what's going on. So you want to look at what they're eating, how their home life is, how often they're going to see a physician and check up on them, what their mental state is, what their sleep patterns are. So, I look at all of that to help with building a plan for clients.
Can you tell everybody what's the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian, or is there a difference?
Great question. Yes, I'm loving these questions here. They're really good. I wish more people would ask me questions about this. But not just this question, but like all the other questions too. But so the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist is a dietitian, a registered dietitian, has a 4-year bachelor's degree in the field of nutrition. It could be nutrition, dietetics, possibly food science, things like that. They have a 4-year accredited bachelor's degree in that field for a dietitian. Plus they did, now it's 1,200 hours. When I was a student, it was 1,000 hours, but they upped it like a year after I finished my internship to 1,200 hours. So they went through 1,200 hours of clinical supervised practice. Then a nutritionist it may not necessarily be a dietitian, even though dietitians sometimes call themselves nutritionists, which is fine. But a nutritionist may not have the same credentials as a registered dietitian. They may not even have a bachelor's degree. There are a lot of nutrition programs out there that do certificate courses for 3-6 months, something like that, and people can call themselves a nutritionist. So, that's something that a lot of people need to just be aware of and watch out for. And yeah, that's basically it. There are some nutritionists, like the certified nutrition specialists. They do have, and they're starting to come into certain states. Those people do have a master's degree in something, but it could be like in anything for the most part. But they usually have a master's degree, and their degrees may not have to be in nutrition. They just have to take certain classes, and then I think they do a clinical supervised practice too. Probably a little bit less hours than we do, but though they call themselves nutritionists who are CNSs. But for the most part, a lot of people that you may see, they say they're nutritionists. A lot of them have gone through like a I would even give them a 12-month program. It could be online, in person, and they're getting a certificate. So yeah.
So should people, when they're looking for something, should they look depending on their needs? Is there somebody, how do I put this? Depending on their needs, should they go to a nutritionist? Should they go to a dietitian? Does a dietitian take care of everything? How does that usually work? Like if somebody's like, okay, a simple thing, I want to lose weight. So does that matter, nutritionist or dietitian? Or I need to, you mentioned pain in the knees, I need to get rid of inflammation. Would they go to you or would they go? So what would you suggest? What would you say to that?
I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a registered dietitian and I went through so much schooling that I wouldn't really refer anyone to go see a nutritionist. I would always say, look at people's credentials and background, look at them in regards to like what their education is, if they have a bachelor's degree in nutrition, did they do a clinical supervised practice? Because that's where you get your experience from through those 1,000 to 1,200 hours that you have to do. You want someone with that expertise and experience. So look and see if those people might have completed a bachelor's degree at least and received some type of clinical supervised practice. At least 1,000 hours would be my recommendation too. Especially for chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, cancers, kidney disease conditions, and things like that. I would definitely recommend for someone to see a registered dietitian, because what's different from us and other nutritionists, we seriously practice medical nutrition therapy, a therapy that is medical kind of like supervised because of those conditions, and they're recognized by a lot of the insurance companies too. So we are the main ones who practice medical nutrition therapy in regards to providing a therapeutic plan and goal and measures for people who are trying to improve whatever chronic condition they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Do you ever have interns come in with you?
I do sometimes have interns. A lot of people do reach out to me for internships in this area. I get interns through most of the jobs that I've worked at over the last few years. So I've worked in hospitals, physicians' offices, as well as I haven't had an intern yet for the private practice, because if I have an intern, I really want to like teach them something and give them my undivided attention. Right now, especially during COVID, we wouldn't be able to really have interns physically unless there's some type of virtual setup that I would have to develop. But right now during my day job, I still do get interns, and if they have questions about private practice and working on a consultant basis, I give them advice about that. So yeah, but I do eventually want to get some interns here in the private practice.
I'm sure that would help.
Yes, very much.
It always helps, and you get to go a little deeper into the things that you said you want to do this for.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always about helping the next practitioner develop their style and their knowledge base. I'm always there for that as well. And I always reach out to past interns to see how they're doing in life and see how they're grown and how if they receive their RD or not. So, I'm definitely invested when I get interns.
So what I want to do now is, my friend Debbie's waving because she's probably like, I need to talk to her. She's her specialty is menopause. So
okay.
Yeah, but so I'm gonna open it up now. I want some questions. I'm such a little nerd girl. I got my little legal pad of open questions out. So I have some questions. Of course, if anybody has any questions, they can always just write them in. But I have a bunch of questions to ask, because I know the questions I am asking you are some general questions that a lot of people usually get the wrong information about. I obviously am not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but I've done lifestyle and weight management. I have my bits and pieces here and there. And there are some things when people are like, no, this is fact. And I'm like, no, it's not. So I want you to just kind of like, you know, we can go through some of these. So the first thing I want to ask you about is fruit. So it's interesting. A friend of mine who is a food scientist, which is pretty dope, Kristen, she did a whole post about fruit. And, you know, she was like, please eat fruit, people. So I want you to just talk about why people should eat. I mean, obviously there are times when maybe somebody can, especially if you are allergic or something, but too many times people are like, no sugar, so they don't eat fruit, they don't eat other things. What is your take on fruit, and what do you think are the best fruits to eat?
Okay, well, good question. Yeah, I hear that a lot too. That's one of the main things I have to dispel in regards to myths when I'm working with diabetics or anyone looking to lose weight. I always get that question, and I always say, like, fruit is good and natural. Like, why wouldn't you want to eat it? Why are you restricting yourself from it? This is crazy. Like, eat the fruit. It's not going to kill you. And like, I even received questions this week from people asking for my opinion about certain fruit and their blood sugar levels, and I was just like, well, it depends on what you're eating with the fruit. It's not really the fruit that's like causing it, but it's what you eat in the whole day. This is talking to a diabetic. You know, it's what you're eating in a whole day. Are you adding some protein and fats to that mix when you're eating the fruit or around that time too? But fruit is not the enemy and it's not the devil. You can eat fruit even if you're if you're diabetic. With diabetics, you may just have to eat fruit in moderation. You can't go and sit and eat like a bowl of oranges or a bunch of bananas all day. But, you know, you want to eat it in moderation for the most part. So fruit isn't what causes, even though it's a carbohydrate and it breaks down into sugar, you know, it's not the main cause of why your blood sugars are always high. But it depends on what, you know, you ate for the day, how much of it you're eating. And yeah, it's just like fruit is fine. Fruit is good because it has fiber in it, and fiber helps with stabilizing your blood sugar. So, you know, if you are a diabetic, I always do encourage to eat the more higher fiber fruits for yourself to help with stabilizing your blood sugars, but also still have a complete meal or snack when you're eating that fruit too. And that can help, that can go a long way for the most part. But yeah,
is that like peanut butter and banana?
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. Peanut butter, banana, or yogurt, I would say, or a handful of nuts, stuff like that. Or even nut butters, any type of nut butter, almond, cashew butter, something like that would be fine to have to go. Or even cheese. Sometimes if you're not lactose intolerant, you could add some cheese to fruit and you know, just keep it moving.
That actually leads me to my next thing, fats. Because we start talking about the nuts, the nut butters, the peanut butter, the almonds. People always like, oh, no fat. Because there was that whole, I don't even know how old you are, but I know I was because I'm kind of up there, but not up there, but up there. But there was that whole no fat thing going on in like the late 80s, early 90s. We had, not Wells Fargo, good God. Well, what are those cookies? They had no fat whatsoever. First of all, they were disgusting. But
the Snackwells?
Did I say Wells Fargo? Anyway, I'm drinking wine. It's been a long day.
I'm going to drink some when I get home. So, yeah, I have one of those days too.
But it was like, don't eat fat. No fat. Just don't eat any of it. And it's like, fats aren't good for you. So can we talk about fats, please? I mean, the proper good. Snackwells. Thank you, Dorothy Parker. Yes, Snackwells. Yes. So can we talk about fats, please?
Yeah, you're definitely right. Even though I was young, much younger, like probably a little kid when it was all that no fat. I do remember that time when everyone was about like low fat, no fat, whatever. But I mean, like fats are fine to have in moderation. Like our body, you know, you need fats for certain metabolic processes and for digestion and things like that too. So you want to choose, you know, more healthier fats. The unsaturated fats, basically, no trans fat is ideal. You do want to avoid, but fats are still fine to have in moderation. What fats could be about between 20 to 30% of your caloric needs, and that's a healthy intake of fat in your diet. So that's fine. But fats are fine, especially for nuts, because nuts, they still have like some fats in it. They have protein in it. They have fiber in it. So that's why nuts is like a popular snack for people who are looking to eat a little bit healthier too. But I mean, it depends on what the whole picture is. If you're someone that has really out of control cholesterol levels or triglyceride levels, yeah, I might tell you to kind of cut down on the nuts and things like that. If you're eating them all day, every day. I've had clients like that where it's like, oh, they told me nuts were good, but I didn't tell you to eat 2 cans of nuts. Like, no one told you to eat the 2 cans of nuts. So that's where I come in at when I do like a food recall of how people are eating in a typical day. So, and I literally had someone like that too. They ate like nuts all day, like 2 to 3 cans a day, and wonder why triglycerides and stuff like that is high. So that can affect it, but it depends on, whatever medical conditions you are. But if you're like a healthy person with not a lot of issues going on, like, nuts are good. Look at what the serving size is if you're being conscious about your weight or anything like that, or if you do have a little bit of high cholesterol and triglyceride levels. And then just try to focus on eating what that portion size is, that serving size is, if you want. So, but, fats are fine. You could do like your olive oils and your canola oils and things like that for cooking. You want to try to do things like that with getting fats and stuff. And cheese is considered sort of like a fat too. So, you want to eat that in moderation. I know it's so good, but yeah, you want to eat that in moderation and like,
I love goat cheese.
Oh, nice.
Goat cheese is my favorite. So actually, you mentioned cholesterol in there really quick. Can I just throw in eggs in there? What do you think about egg yolks?
Okay, so egg yolks, most research with the whole fats with nuts and stuff too, but even with egg yolks, like, you don't have to avoid egg yolks if you have some high cholesterol. However, it depends on what your numbers are. I have to look at the whole picture and see what it is. For someone who eats eggs every day, I wouldn't recommend to eat the egg every day. Like, if you like eggs, like once or twice a week or something like that, or try to choose some type of alternative if you can to put that in so that it doesn't affect, your own needs of satisfaction and satiety and stuff like that. So, like, you can have eggs. A lot of the research states that it doesn't always really affect your cholesterol that much, and it may be other genetic factors as to why you have high cholesterol too. So eggs you can still try to have, but like I said, I will, if I'm doing medical nutrition therapy, I probably would recommend, depending on what their labs are, if you do need to cut down on the eggs some.
That makes sense.
So for a healthy person, like I said, for a decently healthy person that doesn't have high cholesterol, like, you could do some eggs once in a while.
I should probably cut back a little bit. My LDL was a little
high. Okay.
Yeah. I think, but the last time I had it's been a while. Last time I had full blood work, it was right after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So that's
yeah, all my stuff spikes after Thanksgiving.
Exactly. And people don't realize they do. Like, if you went in on like eating out because you had a crazy work week for like 2 weeks before you go and get blood work, it's going to show. But that doesn't, it's definitely going to show. You always do that. And then once you kind of get yourself back on track, drink more water, get more fiber in, it's definitely going to improve, and you'll see the difference. A lot of, so, yeah.
So actually, this next question, so I told you that all these things I've been hearing and like people ask me stuff. This next question is very personal. It's about wine.
Okay. Wine.
So, yes, I always have my wine. So I'm going to throw a bunch, and then you're going to, one, is wine bad for you? I say no, but I'm not talking about from a nutrition standpoint. So that's one. What's the best? Is it better to have white or red? And what are the best of the white or the red? And sugars in the wine. So, boom. And by the way, let me just remind people who are watching, because I have some great names here. Nutrition with Soul. So anybody can write their questions, and if they have any, I'm probably asking questions most people have anyway. But wine, let's do it all. I'll sip on mine while you speak.
I remember when I was in school and I had an instructor that said like no one should be drinking just for overall health. You shouldn't recommend like alcohol or wine or things like that in a meal plan. But I was just like, once I became a real adult, I was just like, that's crazy. That doesn't make it sense. Like sometimes you're gonna need a drink once in a while. Don't be an alcoholic, but you're gonna need a drink once in a while. So you know what, a serving size of wine, 5 ounces or so. They're recommended for like daily recommendation is like 5 ounces to 1 glass for women, 2 for men, based off our body structures and stuff like that. But I mean, like typically, if I'm not mistaken, red wines are usually a little bit lower in calories than the white wines. Um, but I just say like just go for it for the most part. The sweeter wines will probably have more calories in them, like your Moscatos, your Rieslings, sweet red wines, things like that.
That's cool. I don't like those anyway.
See, I like the sweeter wines, so I try not to drink too much because wine gives me a headache. But yeah, so,
sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, so, usually like the red wines, if you have to have a drink, like I say, it's fine to do the glass of wine. However, if you have certain health goals, you may want to cut back a little bit, and or if you have problems with sleeping, you may want to cut back a little bit on like wine and alcohol and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wait,
so
all together or at a certain time closer to bed, or how does that work?
Probably like closer to bed, and if you're drinking a lot, it may, disrupt your sleep patterns and things like that. So because like it can really be a sedative, and then you're waking up late for work or things like that, or you're oversleeping because it could really knock you out depending on how much of it you drink. So you do want to watch out for that in regards to your sleep patterns too. But I say like do the glass of wine. I just had a client recently who she wanted me to like let her know like how can I add wine into my diet plan, and I was just like you can have the wine because I think she did red wines too. So I was just like drink it in moderation. Everything really is moderation.
Yeah.
And I'm big on mindful eating where you want to listen to your body in regards to what you need and what you want. And that kind of helps you when you become mindful and slow down and eat and drink and pay attention to what you eat and drink. You'll honestly sometimes tend to eat and drink less when you start like controlling, your appetite and your hunger and things like that. So being more mindful about what you want to drink, that's fine. Like, and you got to think about it. Like, wine is from grapes, so grapes are fruit mostly. So I'm not like a big proponent of like no wine. You can have some wine once in a while, but it really depends on what your health and wellness goals are too, in regards to wine. Even like I had a professor who said like diabetics shouldn't drink anything, and I'm just like, listen, these diabetics are going to drink something, so you might as well provide them some guidance on how to drink a little bit better and healthier too. So, I mean, don't drink it every day all the time if you do have diabetes or any other conditions, but there's always room for it. So yeah, you're probably good because you're working out a lot, Tifa. And like, do you drink it often or like every day or every night? Okay.
And my girlfriends know when we get when dieting, should you count calories?
Oh, good question.
Hey, Deb.
I don't like to do a lot of like controlled meal plans and counting calories because like we have busy lives. You're not going to have time to do that. I know a lot of times the apps are helpful and they're quick, but sometimes I think with apps that creates like like disordered eating and things like that too, because everyone's so concerned about like meeting that calorie amount, not going over it as much as possible. So what I try to do is with a lot of my counseling, I will do if someone really wants a controlled calorie diet, I will like help them with one. But what I try to do is, just try to give them an idea of what portion sizes are so that you can eyeball certain things and see, like, this is what this X amount of calories are. This is what this looks like, or this is what a healthy plate looks like, something like that. So that you're not counting your calories so much and focusing on calories. You want to focus on what you're actually putting in your body, what's nourishing you, what makes you feel satisfied, what makes you feel like hungry after you're eating, because it's not always about the calories, because we had different calorie and metabolic needs throughout all different stages of our lives. So, you don't want people to be on some strict 1,200 calorie diet when, like, no one should really be on a 1,200 calorie diet, like, as an adult. That's like very restrictive. So I don't want to promote too much disordered eating. But if you are looking for, like, if you're seriously looking for a weight loss, a calorie controlled diet can be helpful. But in my experience, a lot of people can't follow that. So that's why a lot of dietitians and nutritionists don't like doing calorie controlled diets, because they know we put in so much work to, like, do it for you and to create it for you, and then a lot of people can't follow it. So we look at trying to make more sustainable goals, how to meet sustainable goals. Like, okay, I want to try to drink, like, an extra cup of water a day, or like 2 servings of fruit a day. Those are ways that you can continue to, like, lose the weight and be healthy while not always having to count calories too.
Right.
So you have those, like, water, fruit, vegetables, more fiber in your diet. You'll get fuller longer. Most of those foods have lots of nutrients in them, micronutrients and things like that in them, and they'll keep you hydrated too. So, if you focus on getting that in, you'll definitely will probably have some weight changes.
Good question, Deb.
Mm-hmm.
Really quick, just going back, I'm once again personal. Tequila, is that bad for you?
No, it's not. It's actually a good one if you don't mix it with a whole bunch of stuff. It
No,
depends
I
on
like
what you. If you do it straight, that's really low on calories. Yeah. Tequila. If you want to add a little flavor to it, you got your lime and stuff. People like squeeze the lime.
Thank you.
But they're actually. You're welcome. But tequila is actually one of the lower calorie liquors. Yeah.
So everybody, if you want to give me gifts, don't give me wine anymore. Tequila.
Yeah.
Don Julio. Wait, don't give me any tequila. Yes, Nantes. Don Julio and Casamigos.
I gotta remember that.
And Azul. Oh, no, and Clase Azul. I'm a tequila snob, so I'm like, oh my God, if she says tequila's bad, I'm gonna have to stop, because I'm gonna stop.
Honestly, that's one of the lower calorie ones.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Straight up, like tequila, vodka, all that stuff straight up, they're actually kind of low in calories.
Oh, yes. I'm writing this down. Make sure when I write our thing out, that I'm like, guess what she said? I love sipping on a really good tequila. It's
nice. That's what's up.
So just a couple more questions, because my God, I can't believe how fast this went. The effects of caffeine. What do you say to that?
Caffeine, another thing that might disrupt your sleeping habits, but I say, like, if you want to do a cup a day, is nothing wrong with that.
Does it matter the time of day?
Sometimes it can. If you're drinking, like, a bunch of coffee at night, it'll definitely keep you up. But it depends on what your tolerance level is too. Some people, you're so used to drinking coffee all day, every day, and it doesn't bother you. But it really depends on how it metabolizes in your body, your metabolic pathways, and things like that. Like, you can have it, because I know some people that can drink coffee like a couple of cups a day and they feel completely fine. But someone like me, I just do no more. I'm more of a tea drinker anyway. But if I usually, when I do drink coffee, it is for the energy and to stay up. And I do just 1 cup and I'm good. And I definitely don't drink it at night, because that will definitely keep me up. So coffee is fine to have and to incorporate into your eating plans and stuff like that. So that's fine. Coffee.
That's good. For depression, this kind of goes with your sister. So depression, are there foods that help to boost mood? So, yes, your sister, she deals with depression and anxiety, so she will deal with that on that end, but are there foods on your end that you can give to people to boost their moods?
I've heard of some, like I've read some articles about that. It's not as like evidence-based as it could be, but just things that helps with sharpening your mental wellness, such as foods that's high in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, tuna, stuff like that, chocolate, that can help with improving your mood too. Things that's high in antioxidants, so like fruits, things like that, that can be helpful. But I'm always about like just choosing a good healthy diet that won't load you down with too much fats, and the not too healthy fats too, like the saturated fats, but more of the unsaturated fats you want to try to do. So because sometimes that can, bring you down and make you feel a little bit heavy when you have like a really high fat diet in regards to those saturated fats. So yeah, but yeah, like nuts, things like that. Just general healthy foods that we all tend to like know that are healthy
Yeah.
can probably boost up your moods for the most part. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good to know.
walnuts,
Because we all
like walnuts, blueberries, those things can be like helpful.
need to boost our mood, whether we have
Mm-hmm.
depression or not. I think we all need
Mm-hmm.
a mood
Mm-hmm.
booster, a natural mood booster anyway. So that's pretty good to
Mm-hmm.
know. Um,
Mm-hmm. Watermelon. Yep. I'm just thinking about all the stuff I read about.
watermelon. I love
Watermelon.
watermelon. It's really good. What did Debbie tell me? It's good for hydration and
Yep.
Debbie told me a bunch of stuff. Debbie, who asked the question about calories and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was like,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
good
very
for,
hydrating fruit. Yeah, it is.
yes. Um, so we got depression, caffeine. This one would take slightly longer. Let's talk about these fad diets or these diets
Okay.
that are out. I don't want to talk about, I don't want to say fad, but maybe it is a fad. Trend diets, fad diets, or just a diet. Either
Mm-hmm.
way, these things fall in. What do you think about them and in general? And then I want to talk specifically about keto because a lot of people I know are on it. I didn't recommend it to them. I just know people that are on the keto diet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about the different types of diets that are out there, whether it's Atkins, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
paleo, whether it's keto. There's so many of
Okay.
them out there. So, what do you think of the different diets that are out there? And then keto especially because that seems to be the latest one that everyone is on.
This is what I think. Like I'm never that dietitian to say like you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that, or criticize your diet. I will give my professional opinion if you ask me about a particular diet. I will say that just to start off with. But a lot people now are doing a lot of trendy diets to lose weight quickly. Most diets will work, but you have to think of that one question, is it sustainable for the rest of your life? Would you be able to like eat this way for the rest of your living life? Most times, even if they say yes, they really mean no. Like you're not going to know until you get there. And a lot of times it's not sustainable. A lot of those keto diets, intermittent fasting. Personally, I think like, in my opinion, if you're asking me, intermittent fasting is almost like almost is similar to how we're supposed to eat in a healthy way of eating where like your body is already fasting when you're sleeping. So why do you need to do more fasting during the day? That's your fast right there when we're sleeping. And then you could continue with, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. And that's a good way of eating it. Now they put like a name to it and a label to it to make it trendy and do more extreme fasting time intervals that to me isn't always sustainable for people. Like I said, most diets will work because it's always about calorie deficits and energy output for the most part. So you got to eat less calories than what you put out there for the most part to lose the weight. So, or you have to do more exercise and stuff to lose the weight too. So yeah, so that like most diets are going to work when you see it because you want those quick results. But what I try to focus on is to find more sustainable ways of eating healthy and creating, a sustainable meal plan for yourself too. Because like I said, most people aren't going to stick to those diets like Atkins, intermittent, keto. What's the other one? Like Whole30.
Leo.
And
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's so many of them.
a bunch of them. And I usually won't really work with you if you are into that. Like, I'm like, okay, you got to go, it depends on what it is, what your needs are too. But like, I know about them, but I wouldn't necessarily always work with you in regards to those. If you're trying to find those diets, I'm all about just sustainable diets and just eating healthier and not, eliminating a food group, because a lot of them too always eliminate food groups.
Right.
And I think you should be able to eat from a variety of different foods and just incorporate more foods into, a variety of foods, healthy foods into your diet. Like, my main thing is just that you just need to like build a healthier relationship with food and what food is to you, and how you think about food. And that's what the real issue and problem is, how our relationship with food is and how we deal with stress. And that's why, like, our diets are kind of out of control right now.
Especially now during COVID. Oh my gosh. Oh, the stress of it all. We're actually almost out of time, which is completely shocking to me. I feel like I have 80 million more questions to ask you. But I always have everyone leave with, like, just in a minute or less, give me some parting words, some words of wisdom for the folks who are watching this, or just something as a dietitian that you would like people to know. Give me something. What you got?
All right. So what I focus on is that I want you to develop a good relationship with food, eat a variety of different foods from the different food groups that can help and satisfy you. Make sure you do some type of movement, if not every day, at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes to just get your blood flowing, your mind going. And like, exercise and movement doesn't have to be hard and too strenuous on yourself. But even if you just want to move, since you're not like if you're not like consistently doing exercise, just try to move and do something that makes things fun. Also, get sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. Sleep is very important. We didn't touch on that too much today, but like, sleep is really important to like your managing your weight too. And then just really like look at your mental health, do a mental health assessment, your emotional health assessment too, because that also affects what we, how we deal with food and what we eat too. And you combine all those like principles, those topics, and just focus on one at a time if you want to. You'll definitely see a difference in how your body feels, and like, if you have a weight loss goal, how your weight will come off too. So those are my things. Just take care of yourself. Be kind and gentle to yourself. This is a process.
I love that. And the good thing is, if anybody wants to hear more from Chesney, she takes clients. She takes clients. But really quick, before IG cuts us off, I do an affirmation at the end of every single interview or conversation. I don't call them interviews. After every single conversation. So mantra or affirmation. So pick a number between 1 and 10.
3.
1, 2, 3. Your affirmation that we're going to finish off with is, I am strong.
Nice. I am strong. Yes. I love that.
Which makes sense. We're talking about food and wellness and health. It's all about being strong. It's not about anything else but being strong and healthy and well in your body. And I love how you said develop relationships with food.
Yes, develop a good relationship with food. Don't think of strong as being like what society thinks is strong. Think about what strong means to you too. I like that affirmation.
Develop your strength.
Exactly.
I love it. So Chesney, thank you so much, love. It was so nice talking to you. And we'll be chatting anyway about other stuff, but it's so nice to speak to you. I thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was wonderful having you.
Man, I love your energy, and I love those earrings you have on too. You gotta tell me where you got them from.
My old dance partner used to make them. I don't even know if she makes them anymore. We got a countdown. IG is like, bye. So
yeah, I know. Quick to cut you off.
Peace. Thanks,
I'll
sis.
talk to you
Bye,
later.
everybody. Have a good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
Take care, hon. Bye.